Scientists have just discovered the cure for AIDS. About $180,000 shot directly into the bloodstream.
What I love, and it was a gas. So turned out, had a heart of glass. Seemed like the real thing, only too far. Won't you mistrust?
Hey everybody, welcome back to What the Hell Happened to Them? Julia Roberts carries us onward. I am your host, Patrick Skeyhill, and joining me on the line is Sprinkles Joe.
It sounded like you were going to say Jeff. You were like, Jeff Sprinkles Joe. Thanks, I'm here. We're all here. All 49 sprinkles of us.
Oh, 49. You like Baskin Robbins.
Yeah, do they have 49 flavors?
Shit, I don't even
It's a
know
lot of
anymore.
flavors.
Lev's
That's
got to
a
do
lot
some
of
fact
flavors.
checking, I think.
Okay.
Well, speaking of, Lev Van Rensselaer is the audio maven that we are craving, and he's reminding me to remind you that you can email the cast at whathappenedtothemcast@gmail.com. And our sponsor this week is... Who's our sponsor this week, Joe?
Let me look at the copy. It looks like it's tarnished earrings.
Oh, no.
If you need them cleaned up, go to Tarnished Earrings. They fix you and they get you right.
That actually sounds pretty good for, like, recycling and saving the world.
Yep. That's
TarnishedEarrings.com.
the truth. Yeah, don't speak it. Just go there.
And, Joe, what movie are we doing this week?
The Normal Heart.
Yes.
I should have said it a lot more unaggressively because this movie... Well, I mean, this movie is very aggressive, but...
Yeah, the movie that asks the difficult questions like, who has the normalest heart?
Or, to win a war, you have to start one. That's the tagline.
Yeah, I guess.
What a weird tagline. I like this movie. I'm going to get it out there. I really liked it, no matter how long the monologues just went on for each time.
I mean, let's talk about who's in this movie. We have quite a nerd fest here. We have the Hulk. We have Dr. Octopus.
Oh, yeah.
We have Sheldon Cooper.
Yep.
And we have the bad guy from Mr. Robot.
Wait, when? Who?
BD Wong.
Oh, yeah. I haven't watched that in a long time. I still have to watch the last season.
Who actually is in this movie?
Who is in this movie?
Yeah.
One of Hollywood's greatest failures, Taylor Kitsch, the franchise killer.
Who is Taylor Kitsch?
Well, he was in Friday Night Lights. I believe he was like the star of that show. And then everyone was like, he's going to be the movie star of this bunch, not Jesse Plemons, who has really become the movie star of that bunch, and Michael B. Jordan. But Taylor Kitsch, he did John Carter, which is an enormous box office bomb that sent back Disney Pixar's, like, he did Finding Nemo, Andrew Stanton. He did Finding Nemo, and he did WALL-E, and they were like, all right, this guy is poised to be a great, like, live-action filmmaker now. We know he's got the stuff. He knows what to do now. We're going to take a risk on him. And Taylor Kitsch was not the guy for that job to lead his movie.
Who was he in this
He's
movie?
also been in Battleship. Taylor Kitsch, he's fudge. I know his name. He's the Marine or whatever, the soldier guy. I can't think of his name.
Did I watch the wrong movie?
Hold on. No, he was a soldier. He was a former soldier. I watched it this morning. He was Bruce Niles. He's got the beard and like the blondish hair.
Got the beard. The guy, the president guy?
He was like the guy that was standing up to Mark Ruffalo. And he was saying, like, you're the reason why we're not getting forward in this fight because you keep just saying shit that we don't want to say. Holy shit, he's 40 years old?
Well, not at the time of this movie.
I know, but...
Battleship, who was the bigger Battleship, Kitsch or Rihanna?
I don't know, but he was in True Detective Season 2, the one that you always stand up for, which is perhaps one of the worst seasons of television.
I didn't stand up for it.
You were like, you gotta watch it again, it's good. And I'm like, no,
I
it's
don't
not.
think that's
I watched
true.
it twice. It was bad. I love Colin Farrell, and he was the only thing that was good in that show.
So is Taylor Kitsch the motorcycle guy that gets shot?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. He's also in Lone Survivor with Mark Wahlberg.
Which I did see.
I have not seen that. How was that?
Not great, but not bad. It was there.
God, this guy's got two upcoming... He's got an HBO series and a miniseries. And he's got He's got 30 series in the wings waiting for him. That's fucking crazy.
Lonely Heart, or what's this? Normal Heart, the TV show.
No, he's got the Terminal List, which sounds like it could be a sequel to this. That's fucked up. You're not supposed to laugh at that.
Too bad.
And another one that could be a sequel to this called Painkiller. No laugh. Okay, good. We trained you right. And an untitled HBO series.
Just HBO's go-to boy.
Not a big fan of Taylor Kitsch. I didn't even know that was him, so maybe he was good in this. Who knows? Matt Bomer, who played Felix, Mark Ruffalo's lover. He was good. I liked him. Jim Parsons.
We've heard of him.
What did you think of his performance in this one?
I thought Jim Parsons had the best performance in the whole movie.
Holy shit. Are we going to have a fight about this?
Utterly blown away by Jim Parsons.
Wow.
Well, we've been skipping over Mr. Infinity Polar Bear himself.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're going to get to him and Julia. Infinity Polar Isn't it infinitely?
I know, but we spent like 5 years calling it Infinity Polar Bear.
Did. Oh, God. And I guess we were the only people to see that movie because it had like no cultural footprint at all. That's crazy. And we saw that on a couch together. That was a nice time.
That was a good movie theater. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that place.
R.I.P.
Jim Parsons, I thought, was giving the most Sheldon performance I've ever seen.
No, that's what I thought. It was less Sheldon.
You thought it was different.
And also the only person who wasn't yelling uncontrollably throughout the entire movie.
So you didn't like Julia then?
So no, I didn't like Julia.
Okay, I love Julia. I thought this was one of her third best performances.
No.
I was like, wow. I like teared up when she was yelling at them in the court, when she's just like throwing papers everywhere. I'm like, yeah, throw those fucking papers!
No, it's like everybody fucking calm down. You're not a play. It's just like Meryl Streep. It's okay. Tone it down.
No, I'm into it. Bring it on. I loved it.
That's why Jim Parsons, who's on a play every week for 11 years, somehow came in here and knew, oh, we're filmed. Let me reel this in a bit.
He still yells a couple times.
He yells, but he's never like out and in your face and like veins popping. He's like, hey, listen, mister, calm down.
Yeah, Julia has a couple of those, like some big moments, but Ruffalo is the entire movie. He's just
oh
like,
my goodness. Chill, Mark.
Do you know this the moment in Spotlight where he gets his Oscar nomination when he's like, they knew! I'm just like, Ruffalo, I love you, bud. You're great, but you are a tad big, even just for me, who loves all the bigness in this.
I know, and that one's tough in Spotlight too, because most people aren't yelling, so it can sometimes be refreshing when he's yelling, because everybody is so fucking boring the whole fucking movie.
I like that movie.
That at least it's not the worst when he's yelling, other guys yelling, and nobody yells for like 5 seconds. They just go on and on. It's like I get angry and I'm angry for the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, they read a full page and a half.
Oh my goodness, yes.
And they're just like, I'm not done yet. And I'm angry. And I'm like, I get it. But I loved it. I loved every second of this. I was like, I don't know. I was in the bag for it. I wanted some big, yelly, angry stuff. And this gave it to me. And also, I really feel like I didn't know too much about the epidemic beginning, like really taking the 80s by a stranglehold. That really worked me up, and I felt bad. And then the fucking, like, what is it called? Reams of dialogue, and they're like, this happened after this period.
Some epilogue-y kind of stuff.
Yeah, Reagan finally, like, mentioned AIDS for the first time, and then he, like, took back the budget.
He immediately cuts the budget after talking. It's like, hey, here's your pittance.
Yeah, that kind of crushed me, because I was like, Jesus. 'Cause I read the first one, like, oh, Reagan, he wasn't that bad? And then I was like, oh, no, yeah, he's bad. He's no good. Do you want to know who the cinematographer on this one was?
It's Julia's husband?
Yes, it was.
Oh, yes.
Getting him work.
But part of me, too, was like, well, maybe she did it because she's like a woman doctor, only one fighting for AIDS, plus she only has to be on set for like 3 days.
No, she was here for like a week and a half.
I don't think so.
She has a few
Maybe
scenes.
the monologue throws off the timing, but also since it's a TV movie, I wonder if their schedule's just naturally faster too. My problem with Julia's performance is, for the first half, she's like affecting something, putting on something.
Yeah.
And I don't buy it. And then she's like trying too hard. And then by the end, she kind of softens up a bit. Not like the problem was her character's hearty exterior. It's that it was coming off as very forced that she was doing that. Maybe that's a casting thing. I don't know. because I know she can act. So it just felt odd for half of this movie. I wasn't buying it. And then for the second half, we were in soap opera land.
Yeah, well, Julia sold me a big ham sandwich, and I was like, I'll pay the highest price for it. It was great. I loved every second of it. It was great. She's just wonderful. I liked how she... just like the come from behind story, the underdog story, and she's just like the one supporting it. I don't know. I was just so in the bag for it. I don't know why. I had really like low expectations going into this, and I was just like, well, and then it very quickly won me over. Once I figured out where it was going, once we got past like all the partying, I was like, what is this? Because I was like, yeah, happy, cool. Where are we going?
Yeah, I don't know if I ever did figure out where we were going, because it seemed like the movie was about Mark Ruffalo pissing people off, and then maybe that kind of works at the end. But then it turns out he just pissed everybody off, lost everything because of it, and then AIDS is still a problem.
I mean, it's always been a problem.
I know, but like, it didn't seem like he got some Pyrrhic victory out of it. It's just nobody knew about AIDS, and then everybody wouldn't shut up about AIDS. But then he never changed his opinion about it, and he never changed his tactics to getting people to be AIDS aware. And then he lost his job, and that was that.
Yeah, he says that he wants to be the guy that's remembered for kicking off this war against AIDS and like trying to like get the funding for it. He just wants to be remembered, and I think that's all he wants, really. That's what it feels like. He wants to save his partner, and then he wants to like be remembered for it.
So is this like a tragic kind of story? Like there wasn't even like a little placard at the end of the movie where it's like, oh, and then this guy ended up going off to do this, and he helped this many people, blah, blah. No, like it just was like, and then he's old and alone, and nobody liked him, and all of his friends abandoned him except for Jim Parsons, who had a secret crush on him at the end.
Oh, I missed the whole secret crush on him.
What?
Inherit the Wind, Ship of Fools.
There was one like aggressively, and I'm scene where it's like him and the reporter guy, they're just like dancing, and then like they split up in the middle of the dance to like look at each other's eyes, and Jim Parsons is just there like angrily looking. And I go, where's this going? But even that storyline took a very interesting and nuanced turn. So like I'm all Jim Parsons stealing the I never thought I would want to work with Jim Parsons in anything. This man can act. I would put him in something.
I don't know. Maybe I was never a really big fan. I've watched a good portion of Big Bang Theory, and I never finished it, and it was never my favorite thing.
Judging by the Big Bang Theory, I would never have guessed he could do what he did in this movie. I never would have thought it.
Yeah.
It's just such a different style of acting, and it felt like maybe this is like the one thing he can do. You know, like he just has this and he's locked in and that's it. No.
Well, he's won 4 Primetime Emmys.
I know.
Quick little like footnote in this. Alfred Molina plays Mark Ruffalo's brother. Originally cast as Mark Ruffalo's brother, though, was Alec Baldwin, who had to drop out. No, bad. I don't like it. I think it's way better with Alfred Molina. You think differently?
No, I'm just having a hard time picturing that.
Yeah, it sounds awful. I think it's way better casting to have Alfred Molina.
Was 30 Rock over then? 30 Rock over then?
30 Rock is still happening. I think it's like in the last season.
Nah, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I wouldn't like that.
Much better. I'm so glad he stepped in then.
What was he? He was busy. He's always bitching about how no one hires him anymore. What's he fucking busy with? He's doing a game show, for God's sake. He's got enough stuff on his plate right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So Matt Bomer, who played Felix, during the course of filming, production was temporarily suspended to allow him to... he lost 40 pounds to show the ravages of AIDS on his character.
That's dangerous.
He was the one that was
stuff.
incredibly like handsome and like completely like fit and everything, and I was like, wow, it was very affecting. I was moved by this movie. I know it was monologue heavy, but I really liked it.
It's a movie that proves that the male gaze isn't just for women anymore.
Oh wow! Do you want to hear some awards it won?
Give it up.
It won quite a few. Critics' Choice Awards in 2014. It won Best Movie. It won Best Supporting Actor for Matt Bomer. And Julia Roberts was nominated for Best Supporting Actress. I don't know who she was.
Professor X Julia Roberts.
Wow, come on.
Because FDR, I guess, was a little too busy to cure polio just in time for Julia.
That story was sad, though.
No, like, so the backstory of the character makes total sense, right? She's so infatuated with this disease no one will help with because she had to live 10 years in an iron lung. Yeah, that sounds awful.
Yeah.
I totally get why she's pissed off.
That was her school years, too.
Yeah, totally get it. She can't walk. She's never fallen in love, it seems. She's just like, fuck it. Let's fucking cure this thing. It's the only thing I can do.
the scene where Mark Ruffalo's like, let's dance?
Yeah.
And so they dance. Oh,
Great scene. That's a great scene.
So heartbreaking.
Quiet scene.
And can I tell you something?
Honest, vulnerable scene. Yeah.
I know this is a play not written by Ryan Murphy, but this, I was blown away that this was made by Ryan Murphy.
It's a Michael Bayesian dramatic camera move, fireworks extravaganza for a good chunk of the movie. That scene, he fucking unlike Michael Bay, can put the camera down and walk away.
Primetime Emmy Awards. It won Outstanding Television Movie. Golden Globes won Matt Bomer another Best Supporting Actor. At the Producers Guild of America, it won the Stanley Kramer Award for... that's what it is. I don't know what that is. What is the Stanley Kramer Award?
I've never heard. I'm not
What
a
is that?
producer.
I've never heard of that. I know he's a director.
I don't know.
Stanley Kramer. Can you name some Stanley Kramer movies?
Nope.
Oh, come on. I know you've seen a couple. I've seen a couple. I just want to double check before I sound like an idiot. Stanley Kramer. Guess who's coming to dinner? It's a mad, 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 mad world.
So, some things came up in this movie that made me think of our current situation.
Mm-hmm.
It started to click on me when somebody was like, oh, we can't tell people how to live their lives and not have sex. They're going to be mad at us. And I go, well, wait till you try to tell them to wear masks. Whew. This is going to get real bad.
Oh, my God. There's a sex debate going on every single day. Like, what should be accepted by, like, the mainstream or, like, what shouldn't be. Like, it's just a huge debate every day. I'm like, whatever. Just if you don't like it, then don't watch it or don't engage with it. I don't know. I don't get it. It's baffling to me.
There are a few other things that came up. The government being slow to respond and then politicizing the epidemic. Seems like we haven't updated that playbook at all since 1982. I think the lesson to take away here is that pandemics are difficult.
Wow.
Is the high.
That's a heroic take. I love it.
Pandemics are tricky to navigate. I get why these guys were having a hard time with gay cancer.
Jesus. Isn't that rough to hear?
Pretty bad. We're like, this cancer is only for you. And you think once heterosexual people start getting affected, Reagan might get off his ass a little quicker. And you know, it was just like,
the scene where the guy was just like, can hookers get it? Is this like a prostitute disease? And then he's just like, anyone can get it. And he's just like, but if it's heterosexual sex.
But like nobody has gotten it,
listening?
Right? Fine. Yeah. Okay,
Jesus
you're right.
Christ.
Great. Okay, get out. And then, of course, Mark Wahlberg leaves and starts yelling to the heavens.
Yes.
Punching walls. And you're like, all right, Hulk. No gamma radiation has happened yet.
I mean, he was in the midst of it.
No wonder
that was
he got
between
the role.
Avengers 1 and Avengers 2.
Oh, jeez.
2014, because 2012 was first, and the first Avengers, and second.
Man, they got to Avengers quick, right? Iron Man was 2008. They just sort of jumped in.
Yeah, they started pumping them out.
Okay. Dennis O'Hare has shown up in 3 Julia Roberts movies and has interacted with her for like 5 seconds out of those 3 movies.
Dennis O'Hare, whenever he shows up in a movie, I'm all there for it. I love seeing that guy. Where did I first probably see him? Either like a True Blood or like American Horror Story. And then I went back and like after I knew who he was, because he like is really big in those and he has like kind of big roles in them. I just realized he pops up in tiny little roles so often throughout the like.
Very gainfully employed.
Yeah, he's great though. I love him anything.
It's not a bad place to be, right? If you like acting, but you're not star material, I wouldn't mind the Dennis O'Hare track. Nobody knows who I am, but I'm always working.
I mean, I know who he is.
He's just got to get himself like a Star Trek role or something. He'll be set. Just ride that convention circuit out. I was not at all surprised. Once we got to the end credits and I saw Ryan Murphy name, not surprised he directed this. You know who I was surprised produced this? Blumhouse.
That's strange.
I mean, it's a horror movie of sorts.
Wow.
Very grounded.
Yeah,
realistic horror. No, they do kind of small budget things like this too. It's just not what they're
I was hoping you were going to say it was elevated horror.
No. Do you think this movie inspired The Imitation Game?
No, because it came out the same year.
Oh, really?
It was like
Oh, my
5
goodness.
months before it. And they give away the ending, too, because I didn't know the ending of The Imitation Game. I knew nothing about Alan Turing. And when they say that he was, like, the guy that, like, ended World War II because he cracked the code or whatever, and he was... if I saw this movie before that movie, I would have been really upset because I didn't know the history of it.
Yeah, spoilers, Mark Ruffalo, my goodness.
I mean, it's history. You can't spoil history. I was just being, silly.
Mark Ruffalo feeling a lot like John Adams. What do I mean by this, Joe? John Adams, famously, pain in the ass to the entire Second Continental Congress. Because he's like, we got to get America started. And they're like, okay, John, we get it. We kind of know what you want, but let's not anger and alienate the vast majority of our population and also England. And he's like, fuck it, I'm doing it anyway. And then he just pisses everybody off. Worked out a little better for him, obviously, but I was getting some real strong John Adams vibes.
I just would like to tell you a couple of things.
Yeah.
So Dennis O'Hare, in the year of 2014, he worked in 6 different movies / television series. And since then, he 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. About like 30 more roles since 2014. The guy, he's put in the numbers.
He's a regular Eric Roberts. My goodness.
Hell yeah. Apparently, like Al Pacino and Harvey Keitel in their like the 90s, Harvey Keitel was like nominated for an Oscar, but when Pacino won his Oscar, they didn't slow down. They didn't like take their roles a little more like, okay, I'm gonna pick this one. I can be a little more choosy now, even after all this time. No, they were just like 14 roles between like 94 and 96, like for Pacino and Keitel. Wow. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, busy.
These older actors like, nah, give me more. Okay. Even if it's like a pop-up or whatever.
Well, surprise, surprise, the movie with one female character does not pass the Bechdel test.
Excuse me, are you forgetting about Estelle?
Oh, the lesbian phone caller lady?
Yes.
Yeah, I did forget
loved
about
seeing
her.
She was nice.
But is there like a homosexual Bechdel kind of test where it's like 2 gay people talking about not straight people?
Probably, right?
Or
That
2
seems
gay
like a
people
thing.
not talking about being gay? They're just like dudes chilling?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something. That seems even more rare than 2 women actually talking about something in a movie.
Yeah.
It's like... Even now, maybe.
Yeah, it's like 2 gay men are talking and their identities aren't completely about them being gay.
When have you seen a movie like that?
I know. That's why I think there should be a test like that.
That's horrifying. That's... God.
I mean, that's pretty much it. I wish people would shut up and quiet down a little bit. Way to go, Jim Parsons. Maybe I shouldn't be coming at this movie like it's a movie. And I should be coming at it like it's a TV movie, which is really just a long television episode event kind of thing. In which case, the aggressive dialogue makes sense, especially at the beginning when basically Mark Ruffalo gives us the introduction to all of gay culture. Whether or not it's true, I don't know, but the rest of the movie is built on it, and that way I can't be like, well, why can't they just stop having sex? And I go, oh, because it's a big part of their identity and it means a lot to them. They had to fight for the right to do. Okay, great. Very helpful. Or like, oh, here's all the stuff the political stuff that's going on behind the scenes. It's getting doled out to me in aggressively long Julia Roberts monologues. Okay, great. All right, that's fine. Oh, the camera movement's going all over the place. Oh, because Ryan Murphy knows he's in a play and he has to try to make this sound more interesting when somebody just won't shut up for 7 minutes. I mean, if I treat it like a TV movie, I can be a little less harsh on it. But I don't know. Should I be? Or especially since it's made by HBO, should I be treating it like an actual movie?
I mean, to your point, it's not TV, it's HBO.
Okay, then, do better. I just talked about this August Osage County. You cannot come at it with the play text unaltered. Cannot do it.
August Osage County felt like Fireflies in the Garden, the sequel. That's what that felt to me. I know, I'm sorry. I know it's Tracy Letts wrote it, and I appreciate him. But the way that movie was put together made me very upset.
So I have that and Normal Heart on the same level, and I might give a little nod to...
I mean, back to back, right?
Yeah, exactly. I might give a little nod to August because I liked the actors in that more.
Oh, okay.
You had mostly a whole cast of Jim Parsons there. This one, you kind of just had the one Jim Parsons.
No, I'm always in the bag for Ruffalo. Love Julia. Matt Bomer is great. It's very deserved of his awards he won. And Alfred Molina, of course. Dr. Octopus himself.
Well, all right then. Let's go to some last looks. Joe, what are your last looks?
Last looks. When Julia is like in the court and she's yelling and yelling and yelling. I'm literally listening to this and I'm just tearing up because there's so much passion in her voice. And I'm like, I haven't seen her this angry. Like, I know she was angry last week with the fish, but like when she's more of an activist, like in Erin Brockovich, that's what I was feeling. I was feeling that same like anger. And I feel like she was like tapping into that too. I know you think she's a little too big, but I felt like we were on the same wavelength. And, for her and Erin Brockovich in this.
For me, what makes the Erin Brockovich role work is there's range to it. You know,
there's definitely more for her to do.
It is a much more complicated character, and there's a lot of ways she can take. In some ways, she approaches things are even like unintuitive. And part of that is just the nature of that character in general. She can have a little more fun. She's got this kind of impoverished upbringing. She's trying to struggle along with 2 kids. She's angry at these ex-husbands. Life has kind of screwed her, and so she's trying to just take what's hers. Where Julia Roberts came and she's like, I'm grumpy doctor, and then I'm angry doctor, but I have one scene where I'm nice doctor. And it's not enough. It's not a rich portrayal. It's a little too on the nose most of the time. Why did she want this role, though? I mean, it's a very important story. It's a very important cause. You don't see a lot of female doctors in general, let alone ones in wheelchairs that are like, is this a moral thing too? Is like, are we allowed to have non-handicapped people play handicap roles or?
Mark Ruffalo, I believe, is not a gay man. So it kind of ends right there. I mean, I'm not sure. Maybe he is. Maybe I don't know. But I don't think he is.
And I'm sure she, along with Mark Ruffalo, were big helps in getting this movie financed, even if it was only for HBO. Which is sort of sad to say, right? Like, a studio didn't want to tackle this, but would tackle but they did tackle the Imitation Game. But maybe this was too gay for them. It was like, whoa, you're talking about gay sex? Where at least in the Imitation Game, Benedict Cumberbatch has the decency to be ashamed of being gay. I'm imagining that Hollywood boardroom meeting going on.
Yeah, that's fucked up. Also, this is 2014. Ryan Murphy has had like 3 enormously successful shows at this point. He's about to I think he's about to have a 4th one in the People vs. OJ, because that show was enormous for a miniseries. Because at that point he had Nip Tuck, he had Glee, and he had American Horror Story. So this guy can get whatever the fuck he wants made. He is Hollywood royalty at this point. So I feel like this is like definitely a passion project from him.
I would certainly not call him Hollywood royalty, but broadcast royalty, TV royalty.
That's the thing, though, because the prestige TV thing was like enormous. Like that, it was like peak TV.
I know. I just still think there is that divide, especially when I look at this movie and be like, pretty good for a TV movie, pretty regular for a regular movie. There is a different stylistic approach to it. But also a lot of Hollywood's looking down on TV is kind of bullshit. Because they're making TV crap too, right? I've gone on this Marvel rant before. Their movies are basically TV now too, so fucking get off TV's back, you assholes.
You're exactly right. The thing is flipped because TV is more like movies now, and movies are like more like TV.
No, I strongly disagree with that. Has TV become a bit more quote-unquote cinematic? Yes, that's exactly. Blockbusters and prestige TV have started merging. TV's thing that gets lauded is that it can explore characters, and to some degree, it's true. But also, it's still not. I have seen hour-and-a-half movies explore a character way more interestingly than an 8-season TV show has been able to do.
Or even an 8-episode miniseries.
Yeah, why? Because it's just the way we're engaging with TV. People are still making movies, and I don't even know if they should be doing this, but they're still making movies as if people are going into a theater and like fully paying attention. But people make TV shows where they're kind of watching.
You can look away for a minute.
Kind of not.
Yeah.
So everybody has to be bigger, really more explicit about why people are doing things. They really have to hammer home things. They cannot trust their audience as much. I think that's annoying. I wish TV would move in that direction. Because the 8 years with somebody, that's so helpful and interesting to do something with, and they're held back by advertisers or the smaller budgets or what, I don't know, the networks, I don't know.
Yeah, are you not watching Better Call Saul?
I have not.
Because that's all that movie is. I mean, all that show is. It is a movie. It is a 6-season movie now.
I only saw the first season. I was not impressed.
Well, I don't think you were like the biggest Breaking Bad fan. I think you watched it all, right? Did you finish it?
So I didn't get to finish that all either. Again, because I wasn't impressed. I know it gets better after season 2.
Crazy. No, it's good all the time. That's crazy. And
TV. It feels like, it never felt like not TV. And The Queen's Gambit was when I got in a big fight about
TV.
this. Yeah, which is fine, but don't tell me it's becoming
It's a little
movies, because
more.
it's not true. We just don't know what movies are in this country. We have no idea. You know why? Because they hide them from us. They don't want to make them, and then when other countries make them, they don't bring them in to let us know. It's fucking annoying, Hollywood. Get off your fucking asses and make something of note if you want to compete with TV. Don't just try to be bigger budgeted TV. You're fucked. All right, Joe.
Did you see the Batman yet?
No.
God, the Batman's so good.
I have tasked one person, former podcast guest. I tasked her with, like, you go see this movie. If you think it's worth my 3 hours, then I will go see it.
What the fuck? I told you I would
Joe,
tell you.
you
I
like
think
way more things than I like. This woman and I have a very similar taste, at least when it comes to these prestige superhero films. AMC artisanal films.
No, fuck that. No, I would say I don't think it's going for prestige. It's definitely it.
I think it's going for prestige. You get Robert Pattinson, you get Zendaya, you're going for prestige.
Zendaya, wow.
Yeah.
We're having another moment. It's Zoe Kravitz.
Oh no! No!
Zendaya is in Dune. You're mixing your giant projects.
Well, you know what? You brought up Dune in your review.
Yeah, Dune is good. No, because they have the same
fine.
fucking... No. I haven't watched Dune again because I don't want the...
Because there's no need to. Same movie.
I just don't want the special feeling to go away from when I saw it in the theater. When I saw that in the theater, it looked incredible. The way the effects are blended into, like, reality is so good. I showed you. Did I tell you how he does it?
And that's the thing. And you brought that up in the Batman. But here's the deal. I don't care.
Wait, it means a lot. It puts me there.
I still would have been uninterested. I would have been there. The only reason I wasn't there was because Timothée Chalamet is so fucking boring. And no matter what you do with your CGI,
Dune, yeah.
you could have gone and filmed on the planet of Acarus itself. And I would have been like, oh my God, Timothée Chalamet, shut the fuck up. I would have been so fucking bored out of my mind. So I don't care about, I know a lot of people do, and that's fine. That has never bemused me.
He's so handsome. He's like a young, like, male heartthrob.
Great. Okay.
Right?
Wonderful. Yeah.
So that's what gets the tickets. Same
Apparently.
thing with Kyle MacLachlan back in 1984. Don't you remember?
Yes, that was exactly why people went to see Blue Velvet, to see sexy Kyle MacLachlan dick. That was the goal.
He's such a hunk in that, though. It's so crazy. And then he slicks the hair back and he's Dale Cooper.
Yes.
So good.
All right. Why did Julia Roberts take this role? Oh, unlike Grave of the... No, what is it? Garden of Fireflies?
Fireflies of the Garden.
Unlike Fireflies in the Garden, which she took only because she loves her husband, you know, there's a better role here
I believe
for
she
her.
got her husband this job.
Yeah. Could also be true. And again, like we talked about, sort of an important role. I get why she want to do it, cause she cares about. The way I've seen her handle the pandemic clearly is on the side of medical science. All right, Joe, let's thank our sponsors, Tarnished Earrings. So what do? They clean up tarnished earrings, or they tarnish your earrings for you?
No, they clean them up so you don't have dirty ears. Because you can get
Nobody wants dirty ears.
diseases in your ears.
Get ear salmonella.
Oh God, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm having a problem with that right now.
What did you send me here? What is this? Is this the Napoleon movie that Kubrick couldn't make, so someone else is making it?
This is Ridley Scott making a Napoleon movie.
Oh,
with
thank God,
Joaquin
Ridley
Phoenix.
Scott is taking up the mantle of Stanley Kubrick. Oh, thank goodness! Finally, it will actually happen.
He had 2 movies come out last year, and he's making a new one already. This guy gets projects turned around.
All right, let's thank Lev Van Rensselaer for being the audio maven we are craven, making us sound so slippery smooth. And of course, I'd like to thank
does.
Sprinkles Joe, helping us out. Listen, if you were a 1920s
welcome.
baseball player, that would definitely be your name. And Sprinkle Joe on the mound.
I come up and I sprinkle a little, like, dust on the plate so I can, like, for my good luck charm.
Yeah, Sprinkle Joe. And I am your host, Patrick Scaley. You can find my features, documentaries, short films, video essays, animations, behind-the-scenes footage, and so much more at QuixoticUnited.com, and now all of our audio-related material on our sister YouTube station, Quixotic Harmonics. Thank you all for listening. Joe, say goodnight.
Good night.
Joe, Lev was digging around for some music for this week's episode. He knows me very well now. He has sent me, one of the songs he sent me was Heart of Glass. Perhaps you've heard of it.
Oh, okay.
But it was a remix version. So it's the lyrics of Heart of Glass over a violin concerto by Philip Glass.
Oh.
I tell you, this song is awesome.
You gotta send it to me.
I've decided it's going to, executive decision, it's going to be both the beginning and the end of the song, because it's like 6 minutes long. There's a lot to pick there.
Okay.
Probably one of the best songs we've located for an episode in a while. Sounds like you've had a busy morning.
Yeah, my kid's just a pain in the ass. I love him, but he's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Well, he's in this stage where if he doesn't like something, he ragdolls himself against anything, and when you go to pick him up, he just goes to be a bag of potatoes and just like drops down to the floor, like arms, just like his arms, I feel like they shoot into his neck, like his like neck bone, and he's just like, whoop, and he just becomes a tube, and then you go to pick him up, you're like, wow, what happened? And he's like 32 pounds now, so he's gonna be a big boy. Yeah, he's just a little pain in the butt, but I love him. Never gonna not love him.
You gotta be like, listen, Julian, if you keep this up, you will never find employment.
I'm so happy you know my kid's name.
I know
I've been like once.
Yeah, Julian and the girl. You know, like it's fun.
Ellie.
the
one you've actually like technically lived with for like a week or whatever.
Her name. It's fine. I'm just playing. Julian and little Tanya. It's all good.
Yes. Yep, that's true. This movie was a bummer.
That's a pretty hot take.
I didn't know that it was a play at first. I was like, this has to be a play. And then I was watching,
after
like,
the third aggressively long monologue, I'm like,
yeah,
is this a play? Is that the vibe? Am I getting like a Angels in America?
Wow, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Laramie Project kind of vibe here.
Yeah, let's get started because I want to talk about this.
Okay.